Hi, this is Joey O'Neill from Sound Systems Incorporated out of Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. We are currently at Sacred Heart Catholic Church in Southport, North Carolina. We previously did an installation back in 2003 for the church, and over time we've needed to upgrade a couple items. So we've upgraded the old Mackie digital mixer to the new PreSonus 1642 mixer. And the purpose of this video is just to give the church a reference to go back and see how they can make changes in the sound system. The purpose of this video is only to show how we've set it up for this particular church for their needs. The sound system lives in a closet off to the side of the sanctuary, so therefore there's not anybody operating the system live during the service. It's kind of a set it and forget it. I'd like to go through and explain how we've set the mixer up for their services. Currently we have 16 channels. We have a variety of inputs all through the sanctuary, on the stage, at the choir, and the lectern, and the ambo. And we have different zones. We have we've added speakers to the rear of the church on a delay line some time ago. We also have a chapel off to the side of the sanctuary, and we also have a foyer which happens to seat at sometimes 100 people or more. And then we have the main cluster. And we also have two monitor mixes that go back to the choir area. We call it Choir 1 and Choir 2. And that gives us two monitor mixes that go to some small little hotspot speakers. Instrumentation for the church is a electric piano and a large standard organ, AGO pedalboard organ. This particular mixer, as you can see the sliders here, we have 16 channels, and they are assigned to 4 subgroups, and then that assigns over to the main output, which is currently set at unity gain. On our mixer, we are utilizing piano in channel 2. Our choir microphones are in channels 6 and 7. Our pulpit microphone is in channel 11. The cantor, which is the backup lavalier, is in channel 14. There's a handheld wireless, and then pastor's lavalier lives in channel 16. In this section, we have assigned all of these channels to different subgroups. Subgroup 1, this level control, is the master volume for the speakers in the rear of the church. Subgroup 2 is the master volume for the speakers in the chapel. And subgroup 3 is the master volume for the speakers out in the foyer and the entranceway. Subgroup 4 is not used at this time, and then main takes care of the cluster system. To check to make sure that things are assigned properly, if we look at these lights here, it says sub 1, sub 2, sub 3, sub 4, and mains. So for example, I wanted to make sure that the piano was being heard all throughout the congregation. Anytime I do a change with the PreSonus mixer, I have to select which channel I would like to go to. So for example, the piano's in channel 2. If I push the select button, then everything lights up that's assigned and related to the piano. Therefore, I know that the piano is going to sub 1, which is my rear speakers, sub 2, my chapel, sub 3, the foyer, and also the main output, which goes through the main cluster. Sub 4 is currently not assigned. If I wanted to, I could. It will light up if I needed to, but sub 4 does nothing in the audio system. Staying on that setting, let's go over here to our pulpit microphone, for example. Now, our pulpit microphone, obviously I can come over here, I can push the button right above it, and that mutes the microphone, cuts it off completely out of the system. Obviously, if it's red to stop, so red means no sound. Next is the solo button, which would exclusively let me listen to that setting. That will not be used in this setting at all. But the blue button right here above is the select button. Once I push that select button, I'm controlling, any control I make for the mixer is only affecting the pulpit microphone. Once I hit that select button, I can come over here and I can turn on the low frequency or the bass controls, the low mids, the high mids, and the highs. which were not turned on, but they are now. So therefore I have full equalization where I would select my frequency and my cut or boost on each frequency across the spectrum. Same thing, for example, if I wanted to make an adjustment on the Cantor's mic, the handheld wireless, and or Pastor's lavalier mic. This is the setting that Pastor liked and he felt more comfortable with, so that's what we're going to leave it at. In addition to the slider controls, for example, if I come over here and I pull the pulpit back, it's going to take the pulpit down out of the main system, and it's also going to pull it down in all three of the subgroups. So I have to be careful when I make an adjustment because I'm controlling the sound, I'm controlling audio in 5 or 6 different locations. I would suggest if we can keep the faders very close to unity gain, we could do another adjustment. If we look all the way up here on the top, there's a gain control which acts as the master volume for the entire channel. A subtle change in the gain control makes all the difference in what we're doing. Since we're up in this section of the mixer, our 2 choir mics and our pulpit mic require an event called phantom power. Those are called condenser microphones. Condenser microphones require voltage, so therefore 48 volt, 48 volt, and 48 volt buttons have to be pushed always on the 2 choir mics and the pulpit mic. They don't need to be assigned to any other location because it's not required. In the choir area there are recessed stage boxes in the stage, and when we open the box there's a label that says Choir 1 and Choir 2. I could send any one of these channels back to the choir area for them to hear. We have assigned some of the piano, I believe some of the pulpit mic, and some of the pastor's microphone to the choir area. So the question is, how do I control something in the choir area? Well, obviously first I have to go to the choir area and take a speaker and plug it into the stage plate that says Monitor 1. When I do that, I go to my monitor section of the mixer. This is called Auxiliary 1, or what we're calling Monitor 1. This is called Auxiliary or Monitor 2. This is called Auxiliary or Monitor 3, Monitor 4, Monitor 5, Monitor 6. And that takes care of the monitor mixes going to the choir area. Now, we're only using Monitor 1 and 2 as we stated before. So, how do we get sound to go back through the monitors for the choir to hear on stage? Well, same way. I always have to hit the select button, and once I hit the select button, I don't know if you can see here, but I have a label that says Choir 1 and Choir 2. Once I hit the select button, I come through here and I hit Mix. When I hit Mix, this tells me at what level and what channel are going back to the Choir 1 monitor mix. As you can see by the LED lights, I have this much of channel 2, which is my piano. I have this much of channel 11, which is my pulpit, and I have this much of channel 15, which is the handheld, which I believe the Cantor uses at this time. Now, let's say that I have a guitar player comes in, and he has acoustic guitar with a direct box, and he says, hey, I want to play with a group, and I'm going to go up on the stage and I'm going to plug a microphone into channel 4, for example. Well, obviously, when he gets set up, I would turn up channel 4, hit the select button, and adjust my gain accordingly to where I had sound the way I would like. But let's say that I would like to hear my acoustic guitar plugged into channel 4, back through the monitor, back through monitor 1. By that, I would do select for monitor 1, mix, and then I could say my acoustic guitar is in channel 4. I could turn up my acoustic guitar, and now I can hear that going through my monitor mix. So I have independent control for every channel across the console, and I can assign anything where I would like to. I believe in this instance we're going to add an independent monitor, and we're going to call that monitor 2, and we're going to set that on the music director's piano. So that means we would go select, this is choir 2, select and mix, and currently there is nothing assigned back to monitor 2. Obviously, if we plugged a monitor speaker into monitor 2, we wouldn't hear anything come from it because we don't have anything assigned. If I hit select and mix, I could come over here and I could add the pulpit mic so that the choir director sitting at the piano, or music director sitting at the piano, would hear the pulpit. So that's the monitor assignments. The quickest thing to remember is I hit select for what I like to control. Mix shows me what's going through there currently, and then I can adjust as I need it. That's a general overview of this mixer and how we set it up for this particular church. Keeping in mind that this church does not operate the mixer, they generally come and flip the switch and everything kind of happens. I have saved presets. This mixer allows us to save and recall presets. Preset number 1 is a default, wipes out all the setting on the board. But I have saved the settings that we have for this into scene 2. So if we needed for some reason to change, we could also come over here to the scene and turn the dial till we got S2. I called that scene SHCC, Sacred Heart Catholic Church. And then we could recall all of our settings that we currently have. Okay, that's a general overview of how we set up the mixer. If there are any questions for me, my name is Joey O'Neill from Sound Systems Incorporated in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. We can be reached at cell number 843-602-5883, or you can go to our website, which is soundsystemsmyrtlebeach.com.